I'm Serena, a dream weaver who can tell truth from illusion. In my past life, the long-lost true daughter of the Carter family returned, claiming she'd seen an apocalyptic ice age and begging the family to sell everything to hoard supplies. I could see her mind was twisted by nightmares. Her so-called future was broken and full of mistakes. I tried my best to stop them, but my parents called me cruel, saying I couldn't stand my long-lost sister. They sent me to the Antarctic without even packing extra clothes.
If you won't agree with Chloe, just go away and calm down for a while.
When I opened my eyes, I was back to the moment right before she arrived. This time, I stayed quiet in the corner and watched her fool the family with her ridiculous dream story again. Her adoptive father, Arthur, was thrilled. She laid out her so-called doomsday blueprint, how to use her foreknowledge for Morton to protect their home.
We do exactly what Chloe says.
The true daughter, Chloe, counted her money happily and went on a wild shopping spree. I lifted my teacup, hiding a cold smile. Go ahead and hoard. I can't wait to see their faces when all the supplies they wasted everything on rot away in peacetime.
Serena, Chloe is our birth daughter, but we've loved you as our own for 18 years.
You've never suffered. We can't let you be alone.
Stay home, and we'll take care of you. If I hadn't been reborn, I would have fallen for this fake kindness all over again. They don't care about me. They just need to keep up appearances for their business partners and show the world how loyal and loving the Carter family is. In my past life, I fell for their sweet words and thought 18 years of care meant something real. But in the end, just because I told the truth, they abandoned me in the Antarctic. If I stay, how will your precious birth daughter Chloe feel? Arthur and Diana froze and exchanged nervous looks.
Chloe suffered outside for years. We owe her so much. Please be nicer to her for us, okay?
Be nicer? How? Should I even give up my right to breathe? Arthur hurried explain.
That's not what I mean.
Was sneered. Now what do you mean? Did I make her live outside? How should I make for it?
Chloe is sweet. You two will get along.
Please. Who doesn't love their own blood? Blood ties can't be broken. What am I if I stay? A replacement you'll always hate next to your real daughter? Seeing them a guilty faces. What's nad? I'd rather leave than stay here and embarrass myself.
Sir, ma'am, it's the eldest miss. Something's wrong.
What happened? What's wrong with Chloe?
Butler Wallace panted, scared.
She won't get out unless you two pick her up. She thinks the family doesn't want her. We can't calm her down. She's very upset and has some protective items with her.
Arthur turned pale, and Diana nearly fainted.
Serena, Chloe is throwing a fit. We have to go get her. Come with us and calm her down.
I watched this selfish couple and smeared inside, but put on a sad, understanding face. If I go, she'll never come in. Just give me some money, and I'll move out for a few days. They hated to admit it, but they knew I was right. In my past life, because I stayed, Chloe felt threatened and used the same trick. She cried in the closed car until she passed out from oxygen. They blamed me, who did nothing, for trapping the real daughter with a huge false charge. From that moment on, they stopped talking to me until they kicked me out. Diana threw me a card.
Stay away from Chloe.
Take this. Take care of yourself. We'll come get you after Chloe calms down.
I held the bank card and smiled silently. The pocket saved, plus they just gave me totaled $432,370.
She's just a child.
A very clever child.
I'm Selena Vale, the dream weaver who can see the future. I immediately invested all the money in purchasing, running around to major suppliers throughout the city and buying up all the long shelf-life cheap pre-cooked meals on the market. She'd rented a warehouse. Canned goods, white rice, beef jerky, dried pasta, peanut butter, and all sorts of other dishes filled the newly rented warehouse. Soon, the Carter family will be frantically buying up everything they consider emergency supplies in their so-called apocalyptic dream. When the time comes, I'll make them beg me to sell to them, offering 10 or even 100 times the price. During childbirth at the hospital, the adoptive mother, overwhelmed by excruciating pain, lost control and lashed out at the nurse. In a moment of resentment and impulsivity, the nurse switched the two newborn baby girls under the cover of night. That's how I became the Carter's daughter and grew up there for 18 years. In the end, I collapsed in the cold for refusing their ridiculous plan and died without ever knowing who my real parents were. In the warehouse, the delivery boss looked at the mountain of goods and asked curiously,
Little lady, you bought so much. Can you sell it all? When will you finish?
I want to move it.
She smiled confidently and said, I have big clients. I'll sell it all. It's money to baffeting aunt.
Let's John. With year.
And have your chapter about take allers. The boss nodded and skedited with her about the business.
It's weird, but lately a lot of people are buying in bulk just like you.
Wives a few we others sarlin.
They say they're scared after reading apocalypse novels and want to stock up early.
You to deal, it might found if he temma takes smorver and estraning.
I wanted to stock up early.
He went on.
It's weird, but lately a lot of people are buying in bulk you.
He went on. He went in your problem who's that was sets to marry do.
They say they're scared after reading apocalypse novels and want to stock up early. Our factory orders have tripled, and workers can't keep up even with overtime.
Where prepper vitis center minomi cycling overtime. Right. Experts say this winter will be extremely cold. Preppers will go even crazier.
Make hay while the sun shines.
Boss, if you can, increase production and make more money while you can. In 7 days, I'll take every single unit you can make.
I can do that. Let's do it. Really? Great. I have friends in this business. I'll call them right now to produce at full speed. And Yeoman Dion coming. Enough. Didn't end. This Nature Repper Vice Speed Lucky Spy is another. You're my lucky star.
Boss, if hard times really come, money won't be worth much. Aren't you worried?
Make hay while the sun shines. Give your family a good life. Living in the moment is what matters. Let the future take care of itself.
See? Even a regular boss understands this. Live in the moment. Apocalypse talk is mostly nonsense. Even if things change, survival is never that simple. But my adoptive parents were blinded by that ridiculous lie. In my last life, I told them their so-called prophecy made no sense. Cold weather wouldn't lead to a total collapse. I was sitting in my small rented apartment, calculating my profit from the Carters, when there was a loud knock. I looked through the peephole and raised an eyebrow. Arthur and Diana came in person, with teary-eyed Chloe beside them. When I opened the door, all three were shocked by my situation. This tiny, shabby apartment was nothing like my bedroom in the Carter mansion. To raise money, I'd sold all luxury bags and jewelry, wearing only cheap, ordinary clothes.
Serena, how can you live in a place like this? And look at yourself. I'm took a mit.
Arthur frowned, looking around the small room.
Why are you here? She broke free from her mother and tried to grab me, but I stepped aside. She didn't feel—
Sister Serena, are you mad at me? For coming back and taking Mom and Dad and everything that was yours? But I'm innocent!
I suffered outside for years and finally found my home. Mom and Dad raised you for 18 years and loved you like their own. How could you be so cruel to leave and hurt yourself to punish them? Don't you know how much pain you've caused them? Everything that was mine, it was never mine to begin with. How could you take it? Go back? That's not my home. Why would I go back? Do you want me to be in your way? I don't want to go back with you. I'll just be plagued by debt disputes.
Serena! Don't be ungrateful. We're letting you come back out of old kindness. Don't push it!
Don't talk nonsense. Come back with us. What's so good about staying in this wretched place?
Are you out of your minds? Can't you understand? I'm not blood related. Why force me to go back?
18 years of raising you makes us family. We can't let you be alone.
Enough. You chose to make me leave, so don't say this now. Please go.
This Serena, if you're hell mad, I'll kneel to you.
Aishi Shej actually began kneel to, but foster mamas Hercley lat her wait, and her perns to the blust about for Mexit. What are you doing? Do you have to make things so awkward?
Sister Serena, come home with us. If you insist on living outside, then we'll stay here with you. We're family. We'll share the hardships.
I stared at them in disbelief. Their desperate apocalypse stockpile was at a critical stage, yet they had time to put on a sad show for me? Fine. I'll go back with you tomorrow. I went back to the Carters as promised. As soon as I walked in, Chloe wrapped in a thick blanket and trembled. Sister Serena, isn't it extra cold this year? Do you think hard times are really coming? It's like this every winter. I'd secretly had someone turn up the AC in the mansion to blow 16 Celsius cold air while showing 26 Celsius. In the following days, I acted extremely gentle. I was respectful to Chloe as if I truly accepted her, and caring to my adoptive parents. I even offered to move my household registration out of the Carters to put Chloe's mind at rest and show I wouldn't covet their wealth. This noble move got me another large sum of compensation. I immediately used that money to buy exactly the top emergency supplies on Chloe's list. When I got back to the Carters, I found Arthur, Diana, and Chloe sitting stiffly with serious faces. Chloe suddenly grabbed my arm.
Sister, where were you? What took you so long? Something huge happened.
I pretended to be confused. What? Is the family short of money? She squeezed my wrist tightly, her eyes wide with excitement. The extreme cold crisis is coming. It's here. Finally. My heart raced, and I could barely hold back my smile. The extreme cold crisis is coming. She squeezed my wrist tightly, her eyes wide with excitement. It's here. Finally. My heart raced, and I could barely hold back my smile. The mountains of ready-to-eat meals in my warehouse, the massive industrial fuel I bought, all my plans and investments were finally going to pay off. But I knew I had to keep acting. I forced down my joy and said hesitantly, "Sister, did you have a nightmare? A crisis? That's ridiculous." I even reached to touch her forehead, playing a worried sister.
No! This isn't an illusion.
Chloe fanatically believed her prophecy. She begged earnestly to say,
"You have to believe me. Everything in my dream was so real. The bitter cold, the terrible feeling. We have to act. This is a warning from heaven and a chance for us."
Watching her dramatic performance, I sneered deeply inside. She just had a twisted, overblown nightmare full of logical holes. In my last life, I took it too seriously and tried too hard to pull them out of this ridiculous fantasy. No matter how I showed data and reasoning, pointing out the messy timeline, contradictory physics, and unrealistic weather signs in her dream, I begged them to stay calm and not let things get worse for our family. But what did I get in return?
Serena, how could you do this to us? We've devoted 18 years to raising you, and this is how you treat us?
In the end, they sent me away.
If you don't believe Chloe, go away and calm down for a while.
The bitter cold rose from my bones again, and the pain felt so real. I clenched my fist unconsciously to stay calm. The time for revenge had finally come. I knew Chloe's nightmares made her oppose me subconsciously. The more I argued against something, the more she'd insist on it. Sileni Vavel's prophecy. It's not just a warning. I took a deep breath, looked at Arthur and Diana.
Dad, Mom, you don't really believe this, do you? It's too risky. Selling assets? Hoarding supplies? If it's fake, our family will be ruined financially.
I took a deep breath, looked at Arthur and Diana as if asking for support.
Dad, Mom, you don't really believe this, do you? It's too risky. Selling assets? Hoarding supplies? If it's fake, our family will be ruined financially.
The company is your life's work. The old house is our root. How can you risk everything on a dream? It's so irrational. Sure as Ednant, soon I showa, Chloe exploded.
Fake? How could it be fake? Mom, look at her. She doesn't see me as her sister or care about this family. She only cares about money and cold assets. When hard times come, money will be useless waste paper. The company and house will be gone. Only supplies. Enough food, medicine, and energy can keep us alive.
She turned to her father.
Dad, we can't hesitate anymore. We have to sell everything we can for real supplies before anyone else. We have to most resources to live safely. This is the Carter family's chance for security.
Arthur had decades of business experience, and Diana came from a noble family. I was afraid they'd see the huge risks and illogical flaws. But I once again underestimated their guilt and love for their lost and found birth daughter, and the huge temptation of the fake apocalypse and safe life plan.
Chloe's right. We must take extreme measures.
Better safe than sorry. We can't risk the whole family on a maybe.
Serena, I know you're careful, but this time you must listen to Chloe.
Honey, I support you. No matter what, we'll fight for the best future for the Carter family.
Sure enough, human greed never changes.
But Dad...
No buts! I'll contact brokers and banks right now to sell all stocks and bonds, get an appraisal company for the house, and start consolidating all assets. We can sell off our equity in the company's overseas project to cash out. Liquidate all the gold. Chloe, make a full list of what you need. Don't worry about money. Time and supplies are all that matter.
Chloe's eyes lit up with excitement.
I know, Dad. I'm ready. Food, water, medicine, fuel, generators, cold gear, all of it. And protective gear. Yes, protective gear is important too.
I watched the three of them plan excitedly to restructure assets and buy wildly. And the heavy, cold stone in my heart about my past life finally lifted completely. The time was right to cash in. I acted at once. Using shell companies and fake identities I'd prepared, I steadily released messages on supply forums and prepper groups. Similar messages are flying around. Urgent purchase request, long-term buyer of all kinds of long shelf life prepared meals, canned goods, beef jerky, dried pasta, and white rice per favored. Price negotiable. Cash ready. Need large amounts of industrial fuel. These urgent buying posts, topped with fake insider news and purchase request, long-term buyer of all kinds of panic that supplies were running out. I hired many trolls to post on Chloe's favorite prepper forums, bragging they'd luckily bought the last key supplies, making others jealous and desperate. Meanwhile, through a random middleman, I contacted Chloe, who was in charge of all buying, as a manager of a large food wholesale company. Miss Chloe, I do have a stock of goods left by a defaulting client. Quality guaranteed. But you know the market right now. These urgent buying posts, paired with fake insider news and expert forecasts, quickly created a panic that supplies were running out. Miss Chloe, I do have a stock of goods left by a defaulting client. Quality guaranteed. But you know the market right now. Lots of buyers are after this stock, so the price isn't cheap. She already fully believed her dream, had failed to buy elsewhere, I'd bought most channels out, and was panicked by online supply shortages. She didn't doubt me at all and asked eagerly, "How much? How many?" I'll take everything." I quoted a price 10s higher than the market. There was a short silence on the line. Besides, she was desperate to prove her ability and foresight to her parents.
Okay, but I need to inspect the goods, and fast.
Of course. Is there enough? No problem. The inspection was a carefully staged show. In my huge rented warehouse, mountains of ready meals were stacked neatly, well packaged and impressive under the lights. But I wasn't worried. Chloe believed these supplies would be worth 100 or 1,000 times more in a crisis. So this investment meant nothing to her. My fake workers busily counted and moved goods to look like a busy business. Chloe stared at the huge stock, her eyes shining, and all doubt vanished. Perfect! These are exactly what we need! She jumped with excitement, as if already enjoying the food safely. She didn't even bargain and bought every single ready meal in my warehouse at 10 times the price. Looking at the huge number in my bank account, I forced back a loud laugh. This was only the beginning.
Take everything!
She didn't doubt me at all and asked eagerly. I quoted a price 10 times higher, dressed hires on the line. There was a short silence, but I wasn't worried. Chloe believed these supplies would be worth 100 or 1,000 times more in a crisis, so this investment meant nothing to her.
That's the idea.
Right after, I released news that I had industrial fuel to sell.
I heard you have fuel to sell? We'll take everything. Name your price.
Several buyers are already negotiating.
We'll pay 5 times the price. 10 times. Just sell everything to us.
Since you're so sincere, Mr. Carter, we'll go with your price. Money poured into my account like a flood. Meanwhile, the Carter family was overjoyed with their successful purchases. Chloe was arrogant, thinking she'd done a great service to the family with her dream guidance and bold decisions. Arthur and Diana stared at the warehouses full of emergency supplies, smiling with satisfaction and pride, as if they already held the key to safe living. They'd completely forgotten about me, the fake daughter. When they mentioned me at dinner, it was only with a patronizing tone.
Serena's been quiet lately. She must have come to her senses. When hard times come, we'll give her a meal out of old kindness.
Eat, laugh, and keep dreaming. Every hope you hoard now will become the final straw that crushes you. Every penny you spend now is building my new life. Soon came the day Chloe claimed the crisis would arrive. Arthur turned pale, refreshing the weather and news again and again. The screen clearly showed 8 degrees Celsius. He slammed his tablet on the sofa.
Chloe, what is this? You swore the crisis would start today. Ice and death? Look outside. The sun is shining bright.
Diana paced anxiously.
Chloe, did you get the date wrong or misread the dream? Think again carefully.
Chloe looked very nervous.
Dad, Mom, don't worry. The dream was real. Maybe it's just delayed. Yes, it must be delayed.
Chloe looked very nervous.
Dad, Mom, don't worry. The dream was real. Maybe it's just delayed. Yes, it must be delayed. Weather changes aren't always on time. Wait a little longer. Maybe tomorrow or the day after, the cold will come.
Besides, it was only a little cold at first in the dream. The real extreme cold comes slowly. Join, Grida tell you, Tyr. She was starting to doubt but pretended to be sure. I sat in the corner of the dining room, pouring myself hot water. The steam hid my cold smile. Delayed? What a pathetic excuse. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, a week passed. The sun still shone brightly, the temperature stayed mild, and even spring buds appeared on the street. The so-called extreme cold apocalypse never showed up. But debt negotiators arrived at the Carter's door long before it.
Mr. Carter, Mrs. Carter, long time no see. The payment date was days ago. Our patience is running out. Do you have the money?
Sir, give us a few more days. We're having cash flow issues.
More time?
The man scoffed and kicked the coffee table, making cups rattle.
I give you time. Who gives me time? No money today, and we proceed with legal recovery.
Just then, Chloe rushed forward and screamed.
Money? You still care about money? Hard times are coming soon.
The whole room went silent when she spoke. The man and his staff froze for a few seconds, then burst into loud laughter.
Hard times? Supplies? Mr. Carter, I see clearly now. No wonder your daughter holds such strong views. Your whole family is acting unreasonably. Do you really take me for someone you can easily deceive?
His face turned dark.
Cut the crap. Pay up with interest today, or we'll follow procedures. We have the most popular emergency supplies. We'll give you 10%. Better than money.
The man in black got angry.
You think I'm fooled by this? I want real money, not useless supplies.
The deal fell through. Arthur stared at the staff, then at the daughter who'd ruined him. A struggle flashed in his eyes, then turned cold and resentful. He said and did nothing. Diana tried to step forward, but Arthur held her tight. She looked at her daughter's desperate eyes, then at her husband's dark face, and finally turned away in tears. Chloe stared at her parents in disbelief and screamed.
It's you! You two are the villains! If you hadn't brought me back, I wouldn't have nightmares. Nothing has gone right since I came home. You're useless! You couldn't even keep your own child, making me suffer outside for years. Now that the family's ruined, you blame me? You're the one who destroyed the Carter family.
Shut up! If you hadn't made up that apocalypse dream and tricked us into restructuring assets, the Carter family wouldn't be like this. I was blind to believe you.
Chloe, Mom loved you and gave you everything. How could you say that? You ruined this family.
For a moment, cries, curses, and pleas mingled together inside the villa. When illusions shattered and self-interest prevailed, the so-called bloodlines and kinship proved to be so fragile. Before leaving, the man took Chloe away to work off the debt. Later, rumors said she was sent for psychological counseling because she kept muttering, "Hard times are coming." The once glorious Carter villa was sealed shut. Arthur and Diana shivered in the cold wind. Besides their thin clothes, they only grabbed a few boxes of ready meals they thought were life-saving. The once glamorous Mr. and Mrs. Carter couldn't even afford the cheapest apartment and had to huddle under a suburban bridge. Diana tried washing dishes at a restaurant, but she broke dozens in 30 minutes and got fired on the spot.
This is not going to work. You're going to have to leave.
Arthur tried to ask his old friends for help, but they either refused him or had security guards kick him out. Hunger was the cruelest punishment. They dug through trash for food and fought homeless people for half a moldy bun. Still, they refused to touch the ready-to-eat meals.
Don't eat them. These are Chloe's hope for us.
Diana clung to the boxes like they were her last lifeline.
When the special raid comes, these will be precious supplies.
Arthur's stomach problems worsened, and he often felt unwell. Once he found half a bag of expired cookies, but she snatched them and threw them into the river.
Don't eat dirty food. Save your appetite for good meals when hard times come.
One rainy late autumn night, Arthur ran a high fever and curled up in a ball under the bridge. Diana held his cold body and laughed crazily.
Soon, very soon, I dreamed of Chloe. She said hard times come tomorrow.
The next morning, sanitation workers found they had both passed away unexpectedly. Arthur clutched a half-pack of spoiled sandwiches he'd snatched from a stray cat. Diana died in a protective pose, and the boxes under her still held perfectly packaged, ready meals. The apocalypse they had waited for so long never came, but their own world ended first. If only they'd listened to me, it never would have come to this. Now I've got my own things to take care of. 40,000 years later, I stood at the observation platform of the new energy lab, watching the latest geothermal fusion device ignite successfully. Bright blue plasma ran steadily in the circular device, and the screen read, "Energy output meets city-level supply standards."
Mrs. Vale, this system can support basic energy needs for 50 million people, even in extreme weather.
I nodded and stared at the man-made sun through the observation window. When I founded the Future Technology Research Institute 3 years ago, many people laughed at me for overthinking. But now, we not only mastered clean energy tech, but also built the first full ecological cycle city in the Arctic Circle. Would an apocalypse come? That question no longer bothered me. Instead of passively waiting for unknown tests, I'd actively create more possibilities for humanity. We grew drought-resistant crops in deserts, built ecological bases in deep seas, and even planned near-Earth orbit stations. When I left the lab, my assistant handed me the Charity Foundation's annual report. The ecological farms we built worldwide last year lifted 3 million people in dry regions out of famine. At the evening celebration banquet, celebrities from all fields raised their glasses. I stood by the floorling window, staring at the brightly lighted city in the distance. Once I thought hoarding supplies was the best way to face crises, but now I know real security comes from tech that advances civilization, kindness that improves lives, and living each day with a clear conscience. There are at least 17 similar cases in history. The earliest was the 3rd century BC. The latest was 8 years ago. 8 years ago. I looked up and repeated. The banquet ended late at night. My assistant opened my car door, hesitating to speak.
Mrs. Vale, there's something I don't know if I should say.
Say it.
Chloe was released today and regained her freedom.
I didn't pause while fixing my cuffs.
When she was sent to work, she soon became unstable, yelling, "The apocalypse is coming," at everyone, so she was sent to a psychological recovery center.
The hospital says she was stable and harmless at the end of last year, so they released her.
I nodded. Streetlights flew past like fireflies outside the window. 8 years. I'd almost forgotten the name. The car drove through the busiest downtown intersection. A huge screen played a public service ad from my institute, a live feed of the Arctic ecological city. Beneath the snow-white dome was lush greenery, and kids played soccer on the indoor lawn. I told my assistant to turn to the suburban warehouse. The warehouse looked the same as before. The lock had been replaced 3 times. Now it used face and iris recognition. 2/3 of the space was empty, only the 8-year-old ready meals left in the corner. The canned goods inside the box had a shelf life of 5 years, but they had already been expired for 3. I casually picked up one of the cans. Its seal was slightly bulging. I had no idea what irreversible chemical changes had happened inside. I only knew the Carter couple had guarded them until death. They thought it was safety. It was just 3-year expired junk. I put the box back where I found it and turned to leave. The next morning, Jake brought new news. The Deep Space Detection Department of my institute found abnormal data while sampling near-Earth asteroids.
The spectral signature doesn't match any known mineral.
What is this? Another human civilization?
We asked Rhodes of astrophysics, and he said this shouldn't exist naturally. Rhodes said, either this is man-made, or our entire physics framework needs rewriting.
We need to find a way to fix this. Go back and call a meeting first. We have to wait it and see the through, and then have to talk this has ever und. I'm Selena Vale, the dream weaker who the future. We have to talk this through. Nothing like this has ever happened before. The room went quiet for a few seconds. Did you test the isotope age?
We did.
Jake pulled up another set of data.
It formed about 40,000 years ago.
No one spoke. 40,000 years ago, Homo sapiens just left Africa and painted bison in caves. Keep this top secret for now.
The project name is Flint. It'll be run independently by Deep Space Detection, not connected to the group network.
Jake nodded. I stayed alone in the meeting room. The hologram was off, and the city outside was still busy. 40,000 years. I suddenly thought of Chloe's broken dreams. She said an apocalypse would come. Ice, collapse, end of civilization. Was she wrong about the time, or the truth? Or were her dreams not prophecies, but echoes? Faint echoes of a lost civilization buried deep in human subconsciouses. Her mind was too weak to handle the message, so she twisted it into fantasies of ice, snow, and safe living. The ones who should prepare weren't the Carter family hoarding supplies. It was people who could read the echoes and find answers. A week later, a small accident happened at the institute. A new assistant researcher suddenly fainted while filing documents. She woke up in the hospital and said she'd had a dream.
I had a dream.
The sky was full of fire, the ground cracked, and huge white fog rose from the sea. She said it wasn't a dream. It was a memory. I was reviewing the Flint project budget when I got the report. My finger stopped on the touchscreen. Bring her to my office. The researcher was Moore, 26, astrophysics major, just back from Princeton last year. She sat across from me, still pale. Mrs. Vale, I've checked the literature, were her first words. There are at least 17 similar cases in history. The earliest was the 3rd century BC. The latest was 8 years ago. 8 years ago. I looked up and repeated. Yes. She opened her tablet and pulled up an old news screenshot. The person was surnamed Carter, diagnosed with stress-related emotional disorder and extreme thoughts. Chloe's face was blurred on the screen. The headline read, "Rich heiress believes crisis is coming, sells family property to hoard goods, becomes a joke." I pushed the tablet back. You don't think those are extreme thoughts? Moore bit her lip. The scenes in my dream are too specific. The direction of ground cracks, eruption frequency, special clouds from vaporized seawater, no amateur could make this up. My PhD topic at Princeton was planetary geological evolution. Mrs. Vale, I know what I learned and what I didn't. She looked at me with fear and almost religious curiosity. If these are extreme thoughts, why are they so accurate? Go back and rest. Temporarily transferred from the Deep Space Exploration Department to the Theoretical Physics Group. Then I called Academus Lord. You said the object from 40,000 years ago shouldn't exist naturally. I now want to know if it could be a relic of some civilization.
Serena.
Rhodes said my name, voice old and tired.
If you're right, then the place we stand has never been just Earth.
3 days later, the Flint project expanded. I allocated 3 billion yuan from the group's budget to assemble an interdisciplinary team. Astrophysics, geology, paleoanthropology, cognitive new science. We needed to answer 2 questions. What happened 40,000 years ago? And will it happen again? If Chloe really received signals from the past, what about me? I began to suffer from frequent insomnia. Not from fear, but a question hanging over me. My ability is to tell real dreams from illusions and subconscious ramblings. But what if some dreams aren't ramblings? They're fragments, echoes, last words from beings older than humanity. Then what exactly am I seeing through?
A month later, Moore made a breakthrough. She used functional MRI to compare her own brain activity patterns with those of 17 historical cases.
She found the same area at the junction of the parental and temporal lobes lit up identically in everyone while dreaming. That area isn't on standard human brain function maps. Rod said that brain region has no clear function in evolutionary biology. Will Moore's new academic findings prove the existence of the detected human civilization? Let's get everyone together in the office to discuss this. The long-term academic consensus. It's an evolutionary relic, like the appendix. Mrs. Vale, what does it mean if the appendix suddenly works? It means the body faces a problem the appendix was made to handle. The air in the meeting room almost froze. And deep in the human brain, we still retain the instinct to recognize it. Most people just forgot how to read it. We studied minerals from 40,000 years ago, and we examined the dreams of 17 people. All the evidence points in the same direction. Some kind of catastrophe once occurred. We're not sure what it was. Chloe read it but couldn't understand. Moore read it and was trying to decode it. What about me? I closed my eyes and tried to find strange fragments in my memory. Nothing. My dreams only had ordinary fragments. Floating classrooms, endless hallways, anxiety over not answering exam questions. No fire, no ice, no cracks splitting the earth. I'm a dream weaver, not a dreamer. Maybe this is my gift. Not receiving signals, but telling truth from fake. Not listening to echoes, but understanding those who heard but understand. In mid-November, the Deep Space team made an even more shocking discovery. While sampling another near-Earth asteroid, they detected extremely weak abnormal radioactive decay. Jake said this decay pattern could only be caused by one thing: energy irradiation. And close-range, high-dose energy irradiation.
There's no energy force on the asteroid, so the irradiation happened before it entered Earth's orbit.
I stared at the data report. You mean someone conducted high-energy experiments in space 40,000 years ago? Jake didn't answer. He didn't need to. In early December, Moore had another dream. She cried bitterly when she woke up.
She said it was different this time. There was a voice.
I asked her what the voice said. She shook her head. I can't understand it. It's not any known language. But I know it's begging for help and warning us. The help call is for its own kind. The warning is for us. She looked up with a tear-streaked face.
Mrs. Vale, how much time do we have?
I couldn't answer. The Flint project entered phase 2. We shifted from did it happen to will it happen again. For this, I needed more data, more samples, more people who could dream those scenes. But I couldn't recruit publicly, send surveys, or leave traces online. That would cause uncontrollable panic. I found Dr. Hale, who treated Chloe. She had retired for years and lived in a suburban nursing home. After hearing why I came, she was silent for a long time.
That girl was the most confusing case in my career.
He finally spoke.
The details in her dreams were too rich to be extreme thoughts, but she couldn't explain where the details came from. She had no higher education in related fields. In the end, I had to write stress disorder with extreme tendencies.
I stared at the withered lawn outside. Did you believe her?
I worked for 40 years and saw thousands emotionally unstable people. Their thoughts usually center on themselves. Someone persecutes me. Someone loves me. I'm a god. I'm a sinner. But Chloe was different. Her thoughts didn't center on herself. She said the world would face a test, not just her suffering. She hoarded supplies not for herself, but for her family and everyone she knew.
He simply pulled a yellowed notebook from a drawer, flipped to a certain page, and handed it to me.
This is the record I took. When I asked her about the dream details, it might help you.
The notebook was filled with writing, recording every murmur from Chloe's early unstable days. The date was December, 8 years ago. I read word by word. When I reached the last page, my finger stopped. There was only one line. The ink was faint, like the pen ran out halfway, or like the writer wasn't sure she heard right. She said, "My sister can see."